Hi, I'm doing another video on nice guy syndrome, on the male equivalent of people pleasing. This one is just going to be about putting yourself first, looking after yourself. Okay. Now, if you're a nice guy, if you're a people pleaser, if you've decided that there are elements of yourself which are unforgivable and that the way to gain approval from others is to hide those unforgivable parts of yourself and put your best foot forward instead, if there's a painted mask on your face, it might be hard to put yourself first. All right? Because you've habituated this idea for a heck of a long time that if you're nice to other people, then that's the way to get your needs met. But I promise you, if you've been trying that for a long time, you maybe at the back of your mind come to the realization that it doesn't work, okay? That actually you need to choose to put your needs first, and there's nothing wrong with you, and that whatever your needs are, well, that's part of being human. You know, the more that you can get to the point of accepting that you're just all right as you are, and that you deserve looking after as much as anybody else deserves looking after, kind of lifts the veil on the stories that are underpinning the nonsense of nice guy syndrome, okay? Because the nice guy nonsense is, well, if I'm nice to you, then you're going to be nice to me. But of course, people are going to be people, right? They're going to do whatever the heck they want to do. And it might involve you, but it might not involve you. It might depend upon how they got up that day. You know, it's totally outside of your control. But what's happening is, in the nice guy scenario, if I'm not nice, I will be treated badly. If I'm nice, I will be treated badly. And if it's not working well enough, I must try harder. Yeah, it's just a recipe for disaster, because you can't control how other people treat you. They're gonna react how they react, and the less authentic you are, the more they're going to know that you're playing a game with them. They're going to sense it, even if they can't enunciate it. And so it doesn't work. Okay, so how do you bring yourself to the point where it's okay to meet your own needs, that you'll put yourself first? There's a lot of ways that you can do this. But I think they're all tied with spending time with yourself, which might sound uncomfortable. If you're hell-bent on receiving other people's approval, well then spending time on your own, for a start off, is going to be giving you time to notice your flaws, spending time with your inner chatter, but it also means you're not going to receive that approval from elsewhere. Yeah. But I think it's absolutely essential to spend time with yourself. It takes a choice, right? It takes a decision that it's okay to be on your own, that it's okay to meet your needs. And so in order to do that, somehow or other, you have to become your own friend, yeah? Which means stop spending time with other people and spend time with yourself and notice what that feels like. So you may find that just giving yourself 10 minutes to look at yourself in the mirror can be the most meaningful thing that's happened for a very long time. That can be extraordinarily rewarding. You need to discover back who you are, right? What it is that you like, what it is that you don't like, what it is that you want. I did a video elsewhere about needs and wants, and it might be useful to have a look at that one. What I'm talking about is giving yourself a moment to discover who you are without there being any preconceptions, any decisions as to what's right or wrong, just to observe. So spending time on your own might sound like a fearful thing to do. It might sound a bit uncomfortable. But if you do it with a sense of open-minded curiosity, where you're just going to give yourself whatever you want, and there's nobody else around to judge you anyway, it can be an incredibly rich experience. And it's only once you've made friends with yourself that you'll be prepared to give yourself what you need. Because at the minute, you're kind of associating meeting your needs with other people. Whereas in practice, the way that you meet your own needs is by making your own choices. You can also, if it's useful, write this down. By writing things down, we kind of process them in our mind. We digest them. It's only once you're able to write things down that you can kind of delineate them. You can kind of explain them and express them to yourself in a way that you understand. So rather than it all being a sort of a noisy, staccato, perhaps kind of painful experience, by putting it on paper, you're kind of giving an order to it and an understanding to it. But here's a massive one, a massive one. Very scary. Not really, but it sounds it until you do it. Find people who are safe in your definition of that. So find people who are not themselves shame-based. People who you kind of feel in your gut are going to take you for face value. That might be other men, yeah, who are going through something similar. But it could be anybody. But find people who are safe and talk about this. I know. You might be flabbergasted by the responses that you get. Because, of course, these are the things that you've never talked about, right? Because by definition, they're shameful, yeah? So you avoid them. You spent all this time desperately trying to hide it in order to be accepted for the mask that you wear. And what I am proposing is that you tell people. So you don't have to tell them everything. Just take an aspect. You might even find someone who appears safe, but who has zero consequence to you. So the stakes are lower. But express yourself and notice what their response is, because it might make your jaw drop. It might simply be that actually they don't care. That what you think is powerfully shameful, embarrassing, wrong, dangerous, they just laugh at. They might go, my God, that's the most interesting experience. Mine's totally different. And let me tell you mine. And you go, oh, there's another perspective. They might say, wow, that's incredible. I've never heard something so interesting. You might end up going, oh. They might even go, that's amazing. Look how you've lived. Who knows what might come out? But the point is that you don't know. Yeah? By definition, you're running on a rail inside of yourself, which appears as if it should deliver what you need. The only way to get out of that shame-based trap by practicing something different. It kind of takes a decision that the myth that you're following at the minute is not correct. So you have to try something different. So how can you try something different without it like making you come out in a rash? Yeah. Spend time on your own, journal, but find people that you can talk to about it. Because I promise you, the more you talk about it, the more you realize that you're perfectly all right as you are, and that everybody's perfectly right in the way they are, and that other people don't think as much about you as you think at all. When they do, they're thinking about it from their own perspective, which has nothing to do with what you think they're thinking about you. And the whole thing is a set of mirrors. Yeah, smoke and mirrors. You can get back on your own side. Be a friend to yourself. You no longer need their approval anyway. You're simply getting input, feedback from others. So that changes your view of the world, but the need has gone. Because you have everything inside of you that you need. Yeah? You may find by looking yourself in the mirror, by sitting down and giving yourself half an hour on your own to just be nice, even if that means just making yourself a cup of coffee and experiencing it. It tells you that you're worth it, right? Which might conflict with so many stories inside of your mind. But when you experience that and it feels nice and nobody's suffering, well, wouldn't you want to do that a bit more? I hope that's interesting. Yeah? Treat yourself nicely, meet your own needs. Then you can be natural with other people because you're not looking at them to meet your needs for you. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye.